What's up, everybody? It's Kalen Moss, the Minute Admin here, and in this video, we are going to be talking about email marketing best practices, content creation and delivery, everything on the email specialist certification. And this is day 4 of going live and really just talking about how I would study to pass the email specialist exam in 7 days. This is day 4. Yesterday took a little hiatus. Made a video based on some feedback I was getting on LinkedIn, but we are back today in day number 4, and we are going to talk about really the process of finding data for each bullet point here. So what I mean by that is if you're taking any exam, well, it doesn't even have to be a Salesforce exam, but if we're talking about a Salesforce exam, Salesforce gives you the exam outline to study, to practice, to get better at, to understand, right? So use the study guide to study effectively, right? Effectively and efficiently. There's no reason to study something different if it's not going to be on the exam. Now, as a caveat, because I'm getting feedback from people who are saying you got to tell people this isn't going to work in a certain number of days. Yes, everybody is going to be unique. Everybody's going to be different. This is how I would study for the email specialist exam in 7 days. So I've been doing the Marketing Cloud since 2017, and I know a lot about Marketing Cloud already because I've built so many projects in it. But everybody has their own starting point, right? But the best starting point for an exam, no matter how long you've been in the system, is to have the exam outline. So email marketing best practices, what we started off with was we were looking up information related to designing effective emails. We found some information over here on the right-hand side for our study guide. We did the same thing for content creation and delivery. We were just going through, we saw on content creation and delivery, we saw each bullet point, recommend Marketing Cloud tools to use when preparing for an email send. We used stuff like this, and it was good. You know, we were searching stuff, email marketing best practices, right? Stuff, we were searching stuff up on the internet. But as you can see with some of the stuff, it just, the links didn't work. Or not, the links didn't work, the websites didn't take us to anywhere relevant. So then we started using ChatGPT, and we started to use these prompts. So if you see here, for this prompt, I put into ChatGPT, when, like, let's say you were studying for insights and analytics, like, let's say that was a bad section that you had on the exam, you didn't really understand completely. Well, what you have here is you have these bullet points, these 4 bullet points here. Now, these 4 bullet points are the bullet points that you need to really be prepared for if you're going to take the exam, right? So you want to make sure that you are understanding what's going to be on the exam, what to study, what to prepare for. Now, how are you going to do that? You could either go Google search it. So like you could copy this, or you could say something like email marketing metrics marketing cloud. You could put that in here and you could search that email marketing metrics marketing cloud, right? You could put something like that. Track email marketing metrics. You might open that from send. Here's how you track your emails. View email activity statistics. You could open all this stuff up, but see, none of this, to me, this didn't show me how the system works. So this link doesn't show me how the system works. Web marketing automation is the rule. That doesn't really tell me about, it tells me, it gives me decent stuff. Open rate, bounces. So these are good things. The primary goal of your email marketing campaign is to entice a click, right? Stuff like that. So view email activity statistics. You can go either way to research this information. Like if you're looking for insights and analytics and you want to find this specific bullet point, You can find that. Don't get me wrong. You can go find that. But take this next step of what I'm about to say with all seriousness, because the time that you could spend researching what to study for this bullet point is the same time that you could be using to study. So I hope that makes sense. You could research what's on this bullet point, or you could be studying what's on this bullet point, or at least verifying what's on this bullet point much faster. So that time from understanding what's on the exam to the time of studying for what's on the exam, in the interim, there's research. There's research. You have to do research to figure out what's on the exam. And then you have to verify if that is quality material that you want to use for that research. Then you get to the point to where you're studying. That's the process. So the process really is, if we're really breaking this down, this is the process. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to make a quick document. We'll make a quick document. In this process, we have time to study, time to research, time to research, or time to know what's on the exam, right? Right? So I'm gonna try to close this. So know what's on the exam, research the study material, verify it relates to the topic. So this, I'm going to do this just so everybody understands what I'm talking about here. Know what's on the exam. Exam topics. So the output of that is you have a list of exam topics, right? So list of exam topics. Output, that's the output, right? So the output is list of exam topics. Next thing you do is research the study material, right? So the next step is list of study material. That's the next step. So that's going to be the next output. Output 1. If this is a system, if we're creating a system, right? System steps. So system steps, output of each step. Okay, so output of each step in the system. So that's what we're talking about here. Step 1, system step. Step 1, right? Step 1. Step 2, right? That's what we're talking about. This is step 3. This is where we're using ChatGPT to systemize our system, to operationalize our system. You have so much to do in a system to actually study for the exam. Like exam prep system. This is the exam prep system. If there are steps that you can automate in the system, why would you not automate them? I don't think people understand what I'm really talking about here, because I got a lot of people on LinkedIn yesterday. Well, not a lot, a couple of people on LinkedIn yesterday who didn't see what I'm saying here. I'm not saying you're using ChatGPT to answer your questions. I'm saying use an automated system to prepare for the exam. So if you're studying for an exam, use a system. Don't just jump into studying for the exam. Use an automated system that will do the heavy lifting of finding the quality study material to give to you. So the first step of our system is know what's on the exam. Once you're done with that step, this is what you're going to have. You're going to have this. You're basically going to have this picture. You're basically going to have this as what's on the exam, right? So if I pull this picture up here into Lucidchart, this is the outcome of step 1 in the system. Okay, so this is the outcome. This is what it actually looks like in real life. So that's what we're going to do with that. And I'll change up the borders and stuff like that later. Now, step 2. Let's pull this over. Pull this over. Okay, step 2. Step 2 in the exam system, if you're prepping for a Salesforce exam, it doesn't matter if it's Marketing Cloud, it doesn't matter whatever, if it's CPQ, this is always going to be the system. So first things first, you need to know what's on the exam. That's step number 1. Step number 1 right here. Step number 2, know what's on the exam. Step number 2 is research the study material that you need to find. Now, how do you know, just from this list of what's going to be on the exam, how do you know what's going to be on the exam? Like, how do you actually know? You don't, right? So you don't know what you're going to be tested on. How do you know what material you need to know? So with that being said, you need to create a list of study material. So that's going to be step 2. It's like, how do you know what to study? How do you know what to know for the exam topics? Answer, this is the answer. You don't. So this is the question. How do you know what to know for the exam, for each exam topic? For each topic on the exam. I'll just say each exam topic. Okay, so that's the second question you're going to be asking yourself. You don't until you find study material. So even if you've been working in Marketing Cloud for 5 years, sometimes people only use Journey Builder and Marketing Cloud. They know how to use Marketing Cloud, but they only use Marketing Cloud Connect. They use Journey Builder to send all the messages. They might be in Marketing Cloud and know a lot about maybe Automation Studio, but it doesn't mean they know every single way to send an email in Marketing Cloud. They don't know about some people don't know about SendFlow. They may have never sent a broadcast message from SendFlow. Some people may know about SendFlow, but they may not know about Journey Builder. Some people may know about both, but they may not know about sending a send email activity in Automation Studio. So you have to know what study material to find. So that's going to lead us to step number 3, step number 2, which is find the list of study material. Find the list of study material. So what is the study material we need to study for everything under email marketing best practices? All 3 of these bullet points. What's the study material I need to go and find? This is the part of the system where ChatGPT comes in. So I'm going to make a note. I'm going to make a note here. This is where ChatGPT comes in. This is where ChatGPT comes in. Right here. So instead of us manually doing this, so we could manually do this. We could manually find study material. Or we could use ChatGPT to find study material. That's what I'm saying here, you guys. We're not making answers up. We're not making any answers. We're not coming up with answers at this step. So we're not creating, well, here's what I'll say. This is what I'll say. What is the output of this step in the system? What is the output? The output of step 2 in this system is, the output of step 2 is this. It's, so the output of this is, we'll say this, list of exam topics. We'll just say output of each step in the system, list of exam topics. So we'll say output, output, so system steps, and then system substeps. That could go up here. This stuff can go down here. And this stuff can come back up here. Okay, so now that we have that, we can pull ChatGPT. We can pull these two materials. Actually, we can just drag these. These two will go right here. And this will go right here. Just like that. So we'll have it like this. We'll bring these up here. And this will look like this, at least to start. So this is what we're doing here. The output is a list of exam topics. Output is a list of study material. So this is what it's going to look like at this step. It's going to look like this. It's going to be, this is what it's going to end up looking like. List of study material. We are going to have in this, we're going to have, we're going to say initial list of study material. Okay, so the next one is going to be verify that study material, verify study material relates to exam topic. verify and match study material to appropriate exam topic. So the steps in this are going to be verify that initial resource verify that initial resource verify that initial resource exists. So I'm going to put a couple here. Verify that initial resource is a help doc or trailhead doc. That's the second one. The third step is going to be verify that initial resource exists, and then it's going to be verify. Well, really, then it's going to be verify that initial resource relates to a specific exam topic. And then the last step is going to be, the last step of this is going to be relate the resource in with the exam, with the appropriate exam topic. And that's going to be the way that that looks. So this one, this is how this is going to look. And this is going to be the output. The output is going to be a full list of basically full study guide, full exam prep study guide. That's it. There's really like 3 steps. But coming to that 3 steps, it's going to just take time. It's going to take time. So we just have to know that it's going to take some time. And yeah, that's it. And so I'm going to go ahead and clean some of this up. But we're going to clean this up. I'll clean this up later. But basically, we have what we're looking for here, which is, I'll get that close. Basically, we have this. We have our system steps, system substeps, which are right here, which we can even go to this. We can even say, go to chat, or go to go to Trailhead exam guide, go to the official Trailhead exam guide. Copy the list of what will be on the, or use the exam guide as your North Star of what to study. Use the official exam guide as your North Star of what to study. That's it. That's all we are doing. So those are the three steps, the three main steps that we're going to use for this exam. So if the fill, we'll change the fill color here. We'll say these are the system steps. And we'll go ahead and put these as our outputs. So in this process, we aren't creating we aren't making any exam questions yet. So this is phase one of the exam prep system. This is like phase one right here of the exam prep system. Now, this phase, the output of this phase is phase one output. Full exam prep study guide. Now, as you continue, I'm going to show you how to create your own mock exam questions based on what you're studying in the study guide. And you're going to be able to practice to see if you know what each question is talking about. So let's see. Phase one output, full exam prep study guide. What we're going to do here is we are going to set up this. That's the output. And that's how that's going to look. Okay, so that's how this is going to look. And we're going to phase one name. Exam prep system. Phase one output, full exam prep study guide. Basically, or your own custom exam prep study guide. Everybody's is going to be different. It all depends on how you research and what you think is what you see as the most valuable. Right? So everybody's guide will look a little different depending on what you on how and what you research. On how and what you research. Everybody's study guide will look a little different depending on how and what you research in phase two, in step two. So that's what it's going to look like. So ultimately, this is the exam prep system, which is exam prep study guide system. This is the exam prep study guide system. Phase 1 of the output is your own custom exam prep study guide. Okay, everybody's study guide will look a little different depending on how and what you research in step 2. So that's what we're really creating here. The concept of how you go about doing this is up to you. You can decide how you want to actually study, but these are the steps to actually study for your exam. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and continue sharing this process. So far in this, the past two days, because yesterday we didn't talk about this too much, but this is day 4. The entire system is predicated on, number 1, knowing what's going to be on the exam. So list of exam outputs. So list of exam outputs or topics to know what's on the exam. All right. So that is output. So step number 2 is about finding the right material, finding material to study. So this is about finding material to use for studying. Finding material to use for studying. That's like the goal of this step. And then the goal of the other step right here was the goal of this first step is to know what the exam covers. To know what's going to know what will be covered on the exam. And then the other one is let me pull this up. I don't like the way this looks. Okay. The last step in this process is to matching material, matching the right material to the right topics, to the right exam topics. All right, so those are the steps. This I'm going to bring down here. This is right here. This is exactly what we're doing right here. Or this is the step description. So output of step we have right here. Now, within each one of these steps, we have another sub-step, of course. Like we have a process within each one of these steps. But this is a good initial output here. Yeah, I'm going to stick with this right here, and we're going to call this session good. I like this session. This is study session on day number 4, study session 1, day 4, or study session day 4, study session 1. Day 4, study session 1. That's what I should title this. Day 1, or sorry, day 4. I'm about to run to church here. So day 4, lesson 1. This is a really good one. This is the entire system of creating your own study guide and using that study guide as a guidepost. So how to create your own custom study guide, how to create your own custom study guide to use as a guide post. That's what I am going to put there, and that'll be something that I give to folks who want to watch this. So with that being said, that is all I have in this video. How to create your own custom study guide to use as a guidepost. If you go back to the previous videos that I've watched or that I've created, we went through that whole process as far as up to this step. So as we continue moving forward, we're going to verify and match the study material to the appropriate exam topic. And that is what we're going to do as we continue moving forward to finish this entire study guide process. So with that being said, Kalen Moss, Minute Admin, out.